What's up, everyone? All right, here we are. It's Thursday morning, and finally today the market showed some signs of life. This is what we've been waiting for. And as I had predicted last week, the first stock that really showed some signs of life here was a stock with a super low float. Now, there are sort of two scenarios that we often see when the market's cold. The market's cold, short sellers get very confident. Anything that pops up, they're shorting as soon as it starts spiking, and then they'll add as it goes higher, with the expectation that by the end of the day, it's going to have unwound and given back most of the move. And that tends to be the case. Now, I like to trade the momentum on the front side of the move, buying those first pullbacks, which is momentum trading and is really effective in a hot market. But as we know, in a colder market, the moves get smaller, shorts add earlier, so it kind of compresses the range until we sort of stop getting big moves. So in order for shorts to make money, they're shorting earlier and earlier so they can profit on, the smaller range. However, you get a stock that ends up popping up and it holds. Now shorts have a problem. And so yesterday we had a stock that went up nearly 800%, and it was a penny stock. Now, penny stocks are very interesting because it's easy to short 100, 200, 300, 400, 500,000 shares. You could short 1 million shares of it. And so yesterday we had a penny stock. The ticker was MTC. I'll pull it up for you here so you can see. And this stock actually went from a low of about 15 cents a share, 20 cents a share, all the way up to over $3 a share, which was really incredible. Now, I typically don't like trading these stocks because they're too cheap and you don't usually get a big range. However, I did break the ice and get a trade on it in the afternoon. You could see how we had these multiple halts up, sideways, multiple halts up, pulling back, halts up, pulling back, halts up, pulling back, and this squeeze up right here. My best exit was right around $2.35, and I ended up locking up $8,000 of profit on it. And if you tuned into yesterday's recap, I was red $5,000 when I was done trading in the morning. And I thought that was it. I was like, this is a red day. It is what it is. But I had a bunch of things that I was doing here in my office on my computer. I was working on the classes, organizing my slides, and I had my scanners up. And I saw MTC just keep creeping higher and higher and higher. And then I realized that there were some opportunities to take some dip trades on it and ride those waves of momentum. So anyway, so yesterday I was able to redeem myself and finish in the green, not by much. I was up about $3,000 on the day, but a green day nonetheless. It's better than red. And even better than that was that we had a stock that went up 700-800%. So this morning, now the float on this, however, was 25 million shares. Not a super, super low float, but a Chinese stock that you probably expect to just pop and drop, but it kept going higher. So today, the first stock that hit the scanner that I looked at was NUAI. And I actually went red on my first trade out of the gates this morning, which was very annoying. So the way I traded this one, I was waiting for a pullback. I saw it finally start to pull away, as you could see right here. And it hit a high right there of about 683. And I jumped in it right here at 675. It sort of tapped that level, pulled back for a second. And I was looking for that extension up to 7. You can see it sort of topped out and then just came back down. So classic fail. And I lost $400 on it. So I'm in the red. I'm down, but I'm not out. I was like, this isn't good, but it's all right. I'll be okay. So starting the day on a red trade, and there was just nothing. This was 8 a.m. and that was my first trade of the day. So 8:15, 8:30, there's nothing. 8:45, nothing. And then as we start getting up closer to 9 a.m., we had the stock FTEL that hit the scanners. Now, this is another example where you see we've got this big move, but shorts who did keep adding and adding and adding and adding and adding, well, eventually they could be winning back down here. So on the one hand, if the shorts were aggressive adding in the first candle, which we know that they have been, it dropped down and maybe they covered for profit, but this was a big squeeze. So right here, we got this squeeze from about 316 and we squeezed all the way up to 4, micro pullback, and then a push up to a high of just about $5 a share. So I did really well in this little stretch here. I was up $8,000 on it. Trading was slightly, I was trying to be aggressive, but it just wasn't really pulling away quite as fast as I wanted it to. And so I had to size back down. But then I ended up, unfortunately, giving back some profit And I'll show you where I gave back profit on this. So I gave back profit right here on this candle. I added back right there, and I was looking for the curl and the retest through 5 and 520 and stopped out down there. And so I finished the day up $2,823.92. It's a small green day. Yesterday was a small green day. Tuesday was a small green day. Monday I was up $11,000. So Monday was the best day of the week. And this has been a slow start to the month of November. But you know what? This is what it's like being in the trenches during these types of markets. You show up every day, you try to get green, you recognize that there are things you can control, which is how much risk you're willing to take, how many shares you're willing to buy, and whether or not you show up. And then the rest is in the hands of the market. What is the market going to give us? I'm going to take my entries. I'm going to trade the setups that I trade, I've been trading every day for more than a decade. And I just have to recognize that we're in a colder market, so I won't get those big extensions that I'm hoping for, but I can at least show up. I can chip away. And you know what? $3,000, $4,000 days, 10 days like that, you're up $20,000, $30,000. That's a used Volvo station wagon, guys. This is some serious money we're talking about. You do that for another 10 days, $60,000. Now you're talking about, I'd say a certified pre-owned Chevy pickup truck. I mean, let's be honest. These pickup trucks are pretty expensive these days, but certified pre-owned. So you got the warranty on it. So this is where things start to become a bit more meaningful. So if you show up every single day, that's where you just stay in the market. You have to approach it with consistency. You have to treat it like a job. I know that sounds crazy, a job, but if you approach with that discipline that I'm going to show up every day, I'm going to gain experience, I'm going to trade what the market is willing to give me, and I'm going to manage my risk, then you're doing the right thing. And the fact is, I know it's frustrating, but in a hot market, I've been able to do extremely well showing up every day. In a cold market, you're like, man, what am I getting for this? Well, you're staying in the routine, you're staying sharp, right? And you're in touch with what's working. And if if you just took a week off, then all of a sudden you're like, I'm out of touch. I kind of miss, what's the theme, what's working, what's been rejecting. And that's going to take a few days to kind of get reoriented. So for me, I really just appreciate being able to sit down every day. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to do it. And during the hot markets, I try to put a little of that money aside, knowing that it'll have to tide me over during the colder markets. That's just the way it is with being a trader. You don't get the same amount of money every single day. Some days you're red, some days you're huge green, other days are small green. And, so it's all about your averages, and it's about managing risk every day that you show up. So anyways, that's it for me. I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you as always for tuning in. And reminder, trading is risky. My results aren't typical, so please manage your risk and practice in a simulator before putting real money on the line. All right, I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., live streaming for Warrior Pro members.